Man, this podcast you're about to hear is some very, very good nuggets in it. Some raw audio footage. I call it the audio vlog or the audio log. It's very raw footage of me and the homies, man. We had a meet with one of the OGs. I linked up one of the young homies of mine and one of my OG homies. I let them meet up. We all had a meet. Just talking, and we're in the middle of he's showing them how to make beats and kind of giving them details on music and how to make beats. Cultural. This is where the gaming and also the music world come intertwined to each other. Because right now, one of the RGTV platforming, the podcast, and we're also dealing with some music culture things in here. But it's some good stuff to learn, and it's very powerful. The spoken words, raw audio footage. So sorry for the bad audio quality, but it's all raw, no edit, no cut, anything like that. It's just straight to the point. Fred Freeze, shout out to Fred Freeze, shout out to my boy Oso, shout out to my boy CEO. Just some raw footage. We're just in the studio having a good time and having a nice meeting. So you are tuned in to the raw footage first take of a studio session. Let's get it.
All of this stuff is just
Let's
how
get
you
it.
can manipulate.
How long did it take you to actually get used to all this?
It's basically
To the point you was making like your own beats.
basically, I'm gonna say like I spent some months at it. You know, it was probably like 4 or 5 months before I was proficient.
Okay.
And then, you know, once you start get going, like being young, you'll have a lot more time. You'll just be whatever. So, cause that's the way we were. Once we got on something, we were on.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And so
That's how I
basically,
am. I just need to find more people like that because
Yeah.
it's so rare that I find
Yeah.
guys that they just have the
And
same kind of drive that I
me and
do.
him was talking about this earlier today. You know what I'm saying?
Like I was already. I wanted to do this. My 9th grade year, I said I need to get in gear.
man, I'm telling you, YouTube has a ton. Like you guys got a plethora of stuff now.
Yeah.
The young guys, y'all got a plethora of stuff y'all can look
Everybody
at.
can go on YouTube
Yeah.
and look up whatever they want.
Yeah, exactly. And even if you got a question, like I said, we're going to exchange info, and I can even answer any direct questions you got. Because like there's a lot of guys, I used to even teach kids about this at the community center over there in Central Park. You know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of guys that came out of there. A lot of my former students, they like
what I'm trying to do
some
too.
tough beat dudes. They tough on beats now.
Oh yeah.
Like they blowing my mind really.
What I'm trying to do now is start like a shell company.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm also helping guys, brothers,
Yeah.
in middle school and high school, so that way by the time they get in college, they already got their first one or two businesses going.
Yeah.
They got their street smarts before they even hit the real world.
And see, that's like I said, we definitely gonna have to talk. That's
We need to set another meet.
yes.
Yes, we need to set another meet, bro.
Exactly.
Right now, I need to. I'm gonna find. Now that I found, you helped me find gold. I really need to get this other job.
True.
Cause they're gonna really take up too much of my time for me to actually focus on this. They're gonna have to go on with that.
Man, I'm gonna tell you, you really, if you just spend a little extra, like, because really, just sitting down with it, 20, 30 minutes, a lot of time before people come to the studio, I throw together a beat. And it's just me messing around.
Do you know how to set up like a shop like
A
this
temp?
in an apartment?
Yeah, this really, you don't, that's what our original stuff was.
Yeah, like that's what I'm trying to do now because I'm
Yeah.
finna get ready to move out of my folks' home because they're at that point where you don't know that they're kicking you out, but they're kind of the edge and it on.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to move somewhere. I was gonna buy, since we are in Alabama, I was gonna buy me a nice cheap house
Yeah.
or an apartment.
Yeah.
Because I can actually afford that at my age right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the one thing I would do is just, be on the lookout because I'm gonna tell you, Titusville and certain areas like that,
Yeah.
like UAB is giving, or they're giving their workers,
I live in
like Grant.
Smithville right now.
Well, see what I'm saying? So
Across the street apartment.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, you understand the area. So basically, Tinsville and places like that, they're about UAB and them, they're about to come in, and they're about to
Buy
people
the
about to get
people
these.
out.
Yeah, basically they're about to buy. Well, people just sitting on old houses, just sitting there. And if you got any kind of merit about yourself, a lot of times people can go together. And if you got, you don't want to get nobody ain't gonna pay their bills, but we'll talk about that later.
I pay my bills too.
But I'm not saying, but you don't want anybody else with you that ain't. You see what I'm saying? Because they'll be a sandbag. So, but that's just one of those type of things. Like I was, just blessed. I came out was roommates with my frat brothers and stuff, and we were all working. So we just all kind of we were straight, exactly. So we were saving money, and making money, saving money. You know what I'm saying? and it's all good. You know, we were living fat off the hog at the, for a minute there, a little too big to be just getting out of college. You know, it was looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? So we were still being able to go to Florida and do all kinds of crazy stuff because we were. Because you had people that was about their stuff. They were like, I'm gonna pay all my bills. I'm gonna do it all, whatever, yada 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 yada.
So you the same thing, like I said.
So that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it. But and so now I'm gonna get to like just a quick overview of the playlist. And the playlist, like, so you know I made that pattern, right?
Yes.
Such that it was, and it's like I got it on pattern 1. So I got, if you go into the playlist, you got stuff like, you look at this toolbar up here. This is the toolbar that lets you know what you can do with the playlist. Well, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm pasting my pattern. Now I got this set to like bar, and see I'm just over here looking at my tools and stuff like that. This is just me dropping down my menu. You'll be able to go ahead and see what you can do with that. I duplicated it over there. I got to set the paintbrush. Paintbrush means I can do this. I can just paint across there and put quickly. That's me laying out a song. This is where you come to lay out your song.
It's like that old art.
So, yeah.
Like when I was a kid, I always used to go on this art thing and let you do whatever you wanted to do.
Yeah.
It was like a blank page. You could draw whatever you
Yeah.
wanted. Yeah.
And well, this is kind of like this actually works with the same hotkeys as Word.
Yeah.
This works with the same hotkeys as Word, and it also works with the same hotkeys as several other programs, which will let you just. But see, I don't use hotkeys. I press the buttons. I actually press the buttons. So I got another friend that uses all hotkeys. Then you can actually go in here and you can do stuff like in this instance, I can go in here and like go to draw. I can just draw it in if I want to, that means I can draw one cell in at a time.
Yeah.
I paintbrushed it before, so I swiped them all in like that. And then you can go in and do stuff like, I can quantize everything if I wanted to, highlight all this other stuff. I can, look at how I want to snap the grid. You can go in and I'm looking for one other function because it's a little different here. I got my grid set to snap and slide, which means I just wanted to show me something in a particular way so I can actually slide across the grid. I know that's going to be a crazy explanation, but this is one of these things you're going to have to play with to kind of get it. And this is a selection tool like the lasso tool in Photoshop or something like that. It lets me select. So I select. See, I select that whole thing. Yeah. If I want to delete the whole thing, I can go ahead and just delete it. If I want to, and you can delete it by right mouse clicking it if you wanted to. And now see, I did unhighlighted all those, but I can go in and I can delete them. Yeah. If and then I can just turn that off, and then I can go back in again and say, well, I want them all back again. So boom, they're back again. You know what I'm saying? And so that's how that is. And I'm gonna show you another step of like laying songs out when you get in here. Here it is. This is a situation. This defines what your grid is. So you can set your grid up. I set my grid up by beats. Yeah. So this is by beats. And you can do beats. Actually I got this one set up by bars because I was just counting things out in bars recently. Normally I'm set up in beats, but right now I'm set up in bars. So that's why I said so. Everything in this situation is set up as bars. So it's like that's 4 of those little parameters that's set in the step sequencer that I told you about earlier. So I'm going to go back to the step sequencer. This is a 4-bar. This is a setup. This is 1 bar. This is 1 bar. So 4 of these, you see this 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 1 bar. So that's the equivalent of 1 bar in the playlist. So that's why it's like that. So I'm going to go to track 2, pattern 2, and I'm just going to put, and this is where you're like an MPC. Pattern 1, pattern 2. You're in a sequencer-like environment. Like you've been in Reaper. Think of it like, how you got the little things laid down in Reaper. How you got each one of the little cells in Reaper. Every DAW is laid out like this. This is pattern 2. So I'm going to pattern 2. None of my stuff is highlighted. Nothing is, selected here. If I went
making up whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. So now I can go in from there. I can go in and I'm going to insert an instrument. Which I really don't want to insert the instrument because I don't.
So that's as many tracks as you want it to go.
Exactly. Oh, it can go as many tracks as I want it to go.
Oh, that's nice.
So it's insane. It's like it's got that many tracks. But like, let's say I'm gonna go to the 3X oscillator. The 3X oscillator is the way I create sub bass a lot of times.
Quick question.
Peace break.
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead.
How long? How much did it cost for you to set? Well, this up, not all this, but as far as like the grid.
To be honest with you, to record with what you need right now, you just need a strong enough laptop, a MIDI, I hate to say what MIDI, a USB through box, a solid microphone.
Yeah.
You can get like one of those little hoods that deaden sounds, and pretty much just a sound dampener. That's just something that's going to dampen your sound. And you get those quality microphones. You can pretty much get an out the box package at places like Guitar Center or Sweetwater or anything like that online. I would go to Sweetwater or something like that online and look up the actual musician friend or whatever like that. All right.
I got all my ideas from here too.
All right. Hold on. Now see, this is like a. See, this is why I make my sub bass. Get rid of these guys. That's just. So you got that going on, and then normally since I'm lazy.
Boy, I flooded the whole side of the building over there, boy.
Oh man. Then we.
have the grass will go super tall.
That's what I'm talking about. Then we got FL keys. So it's a key, it's a piano. You know what I'm saying? And if you get a MIDI keyboard, you can actually play it accordingly. But of course, this is where having something, and I always put things on different patterns. Like in this instance, I'm on pattern 3 now. So I will go in to FL, keys, and I will go to the piano roll. And you see how this is highlighting? You see what I'm saying? You see what and then if you got a problem, you say, oh man, I don't get any of this. I don't know what should be in key. I don't know what any of this, da 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 da. You can come over here to the mixer, because this is his mixer, and you can actually go and go down to something called Picture, there it is. And then what I would do is I detach my picture, and I go to detach. I'm gonna get back up. What I've done is I went in here and created like a little cheap bass line off the 3S oscillator, which is like basically it's just you got like a high-end sequencer, high-end synth sound, and you just drop it down low, and that created a bass line. And basically, like, not a very fancy bass line. See, it's very basic. It just.
That sounds like some New York style type shit. I bust in the door, kick in the fofo. I said, yeah, that's bigger type shit.
And then, like, if I want to make this sound a little bit more whatever, less robotic, I can go down here to strong, accept, and it's going to try. It's going to try to, you see, it makes it sound like it's like it was strong a little bit.
That's some bigger type shit mixed with some soft shit.
And this, none of this stuff is mixed. But what Picture does, Picture shows me all my keys. It also shows me what key something is in, and it shows me stuff like, if I'm trying to create something like chords, You know what I mean? It shows me basically everything. This is a minor. This is a C minor scale. It shows me scales. So basically I can sit in there and say, okay, there's a way that I can cheat. If I turn on ghost notes, I can go ahead and see all of the ghost notes that will be in the C minor scale if I mark them in there. And then I can go in on that same track and just create a scale off of it. Or what I did here is I detached the picture. And I'm going to be lazy. I'm not going to do the whole ghost notes thing. A lot of people do that. And that's another way to do it now. You know, and I can double click this. I got my FL keys, which is another little BST instruments, like I was showing them earlier. You know, so I actually put that guy. And you got different versions. You got the grand piano. Wait a minute, see if that load. All right, load. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you basically put those guys in there. And what I did was I actually, you know, sent it to the piano roll.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's in this piano roll. See, I'm holding this down. That's middle C. That's D. That's E. F. A. C again.
Nice.
So, but that's all on my keyboard here.
Yeah.
So I just played the whole range there. So if I wanted to say, okay, I'm going to stick with that scale, and something that a lot of people and my buddies do online, you have to do this by ear. And that's more the bass clef of the piano. And this is me just drawing stuff in.
Yeah.
So basically,
just to show where everything is.
exactly. And you can actually skip. Supposedly, you're supposed to be able to skip and create a. See what I so basically what I did was I'm creating a what do you call it, a chord. That's a chord right there. So one way to go around that, creating that chord, you can go back and say, okay, I can go up from there. And what I'm doing is a cheap way to do this for people who don't know music theory and all this other stuff. And you want to see what sounds good. Because you're like, okay, this is the root chord. The root chord is going to be the G chord or the C chord. Or in this case, it's the C chord. So I can see, what do I want to hear next?
Drop that beat freeze.
So, you know, so you count this out and say, okay, it's 1, that's 1, 2, wait, that's 2. So it'll be right there.
I need to get this equipment. See, doing this, I might not even go to sleep playing this.
So, you know, and so basically what I'm doing is I'm counting every other one. I can also, if I didn't like the way that was, but see, that would put me in a position, because I should have counted up, actually, one more time, and got like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like, and I can keep going up from there, because I'm going to remain in the same scale. I'm not going to lose my scale if I stick with my pattern. You see what I mean? See, now that's, I'm going to be there, see if that's it. I don't like that.
I like that. Just the change and all that.
Nope.
A little bit.
One,
You pressed space to start it off.
2. Yep. Oh, see, that's tension. See, I somehow I got out of the scale. And that's almost like a jazz riff.
Yeah. Why shortened it.
so that it's like me playing and I'm gonna create a half note.
Okay.
And there, so this is a whole note versus a half note. Like when it plays this whole time, it's extended for the whole and you can make it as short as you want to. You can get to quarter notes, you can get to like whatever, but this is like half of that note.
Yeah.
So like, cause it stopped right there, and then I can go back up.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
See what I'm saying? And it's like, so, and this is just really me playing around. And then so you might want to find something like the original note, which is the C. Actually add some life, a little bit more life to it as best you can. You can select it all and get strong. And see, it's already been somewhat strong, so it's not going to do too much to it. I like to do this stuff. You can either do plucked or strong. And that's basically attempting to add some more humanization to it. Yeah. But it probably ain't going to add too much to it. You know, so that's just that type of thing. That's a bore, you know, kind of like a boring whatever. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna add like, hold on, this drum. So you got these little pieces here. If you want to sit here, you know you can actually go up. You can go high and add actual higher part of the keys, and you can actually even add the bass clef, but you already got a sub bass there, so you don't want to make a muddy beat. So it's just like, see what I'm saying? Is that, and then like my specialty is always like I like to have samples and artifacts and all kinds of other stuff in my music because it adds certain character. And in this case, like say I have a folder like this where I have various samples in it, like I don't know what chances. See, certain stuff, I don't know what this stuff is. So I had to go in here and
it take MP3 too?
Yeah, it'll take MP3 and waves.
Okay.
And let me see, this is a chant. It says this is a chant. So, okay. So, I can take this, and what I've done here is I loaded this in. I got a little knife here. I could actually go in and like try to edit it. I can edit it in the playlist. I got a lot of friends that chop samples in the playlist. Mm-hmm. I got a lot. This tool can be used in so many different ways. The one thing I wish you would have like been here earlier, because like that's what me and the other producers in here talking about. You can make this whatever you want it to be, based on your personality, based upon how you like to see things. The way I do things, you may be like, man, what the hell is Freeze doing? I don't want to do that. That don't make no sense to me. This makes more sense to me. You can go watch a guy on YouTube and he may do something that speaks more to how your workflow, because it's all about workflow, how you want to do your workflow. See what I'm saying? And some people may see it a certain kind of way, like somebody like Haru, who is a drummer, versus somebody like me, who's used to the MPC, and I've been chopping samples since high school. See what I'm saying? So I'm thinking of it like like patchwork in my brain, like let me make all of these little pieces. See what I'm saying? And then I'm gonna put all these little pieces together. So I'm not even thinking like a regular musician. I'm thinking like I make this little break, then I build from this little break. See what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking. You know what I mean? And I do little jazzy things to switch my drum out. I work my little bass around, make my bass. I keep faking it and faking it and faking it until the point it's like, damn, he's an actual good musician. Like, you sit there and be like, no. I'm just messing.
I'm just tweaking.
Exactly. It's just me tweaking behind the machine. And so basically, I go in here. What I did was I double clicked on that guy, the sample itself that I put in there. And now what I'm gonna do, I can detect the tempo. I can get properties on it. I can save it. I can reload it. You'll see all that crap. But I'm going to go edit it. And when I edit it, it's going to open up my primary slicer, which is called Edison.
Commercial break. There's a couple times you're going to catch OG Freeze in the moment, in the zone, just vibing out with a great session. Part 2 up next. Part 3 you don't want to miss.